The red light blinked on. Recording in progress. Daniel Harper adjusted his headset and leaned back in his chair. The night shift at the Jefferson County Emergency Communications Center was usually quiet between 2 and 4 a.m. Quiet enough to make you hyper-aware of every sound. The hum of the air conditioning. The soft static of open radio channels. The ticking of the wall clock that never seemed to move fast enough. Daniel liked the routine, liked knowing exactly what to say, how to say it, and when to say nothing at all. People believed 911 operators were heroes. He knew better. They were translators, turning panic into procedure. His screen glowed softly. No active calls. Daniel exhaled slowly and took a sip of lukewarm coffee. He had another 3 hours before his shift ended. 3 hours of controlled emergencies and predictable chaos. Then the line rang. Beep. He clicked accept. 911. What's your emergency? For a moment, there was nothing. Then a woman's voice spoke. Clear, calm, almost bored. This call will be used against you. Daniel frowned. Ma'am, he said carefully, this line is recorded. What's happening? Silence. Then, breathing. Not frantic, not scared. Patient. Ma'am, he repeated. Can you tell me your location? I already did, she replied. Daniel checked the call data. Caller ID, unknown. Location, unavailable. That information didn't come through, he said. The woman sighed softly. That's disappointing, she said. It worked last time. Daniel straightened. Last time? He asked. Yes, she said, before you died. The lights flickered. Daniel laughed reflexively. Okay, ma'am, I need you to focus. You were sitting exactly like that, she continued. Left hand on the desk. Coffee going cold. Daniel's smile faded. You knocked over the mug, she said. You didn't feel it right away. A chill crawled up his spine. Who is this? He demanded. I'm calling to report an emergency, the woman said. Yours. Daniel's screen flickered. A new window opened, one he hadn't accessed. Call playback. Future recording. Audio began to play. His voice. Screaming. Daniel's heart slammed against his ribs. What is this? He whispered. The woman's voice returned. Closer now. This is your warning, she said. The recording always comes first. The line went dead. Daniel stared at the dark screen. Then, slowly, another call rang, and the recording light blinked on again. The second call rang for less than half a second before Daniel answered it. 911? What's your emergency? This time, the line was completely silent. No breathing. No static. Just an empty channel that felt open. Daniel waited 3 seconds. 4. Hello, he said. Nothing. He glanced at the call data. Reading caller ID, restricted, location, not yet assigned, not yet. His fingers hovered over this keyboard. He had never seen that status before. He was about to disconnect when the system chimed softly. New file received. A window opened by itself. Audio. File time stamp 3:17 a.m. Daniel frowned. The current time read 2:41 a.m. The future. Against every instinct, he clicked play. The sound hit him immediately. Metal tearing, glass shattering, alarms screaming. Then his own voice broke through the chaos, hoarse and panicked. I need medical. Someone's been crushed. The recording cut abruptly. Daniel's mouth went dry. The silent call line suddenly crackled. She didn't make it, the woman from before said calmly. Daniel's chair scraped as he stood. Who is she? The one in the recording, she replied. You hear her scream just before the end. Daniel replayed the file. There it was, faint, buried beneath the noise. A woman's scream. Real, raw, close. Where does this happen? He demanded. Tell me where. You'll know, the woman said. You always do. The call ended. Daniel stood frozen, heartbeat pounding in his ears. Minutes passed. Then his radio burst to life. Dispatch, we've got a multi-vehicle collision on Route 9. One fatality confirmed. Daniel's blood ran cold. Time? He asked, voice tight. 3:17, the officer replied. Just happened. Daniel sank back into his chair. The recording had been exact. Same sounds, same scream, same ending. His console chimed again. Archive updated. A new folder appeared. Predictive recordings, active. Inside it, dozens of files. Each stamped with future times. Each labeled with an operator's name. Most of the names were grayed out. One was highlighted. Harper, Daniel's status, pending. Daniel's hands shook. How many? He whispered. The woman's voice answered, though the line was no longer open. Enough to prove it's not an accident. The lights dimmed slightly. This system doesn't just record, she continued. It remembers. Daniel stared at the highlighted file. His name. His voice. Waiting. The clock on the wall ticked forward. 2:59 a.m. And somewhere in the building, a printer began to run, spitting out transcripts of calls that had not happened yet. Daniel did not press play. The system did it for him. The progress bar on his screen began to move, slow and deliberate, as if savoring each second. His name sat above it in stark white letters. Harper, Daniel's status, pending. His own voice filled the headset. Not screaming. Not panicked. Tired. 911. What's your emergency? Daniel's hands trembled. He remembered that tone, the one you used when you were too exhausted to sound reassuring anymore. In the recording, someone was crying. A woman this time. Her sobs were raw, uneven, desperate. I don't want to die like this, she said. Daniel's stomach twisted. He leaned closer to the screen, listening to every breath, every pause, as if studying it closely enough might change what came next. In the recording, he spoke again. I'm here with you, his future self said. Just keep talking to me. The timestamp ticked forward. 3:58 a.m., 4 minutes before the time listed on his file. The woman's crying intensified. Something crashed in the background. Glass, maybe, or furniture. The sound echoed too sharply, as if the room she was in had no softness left. Daniel's real-world console chimed. Incoming call. He froze. The caller ID was blank. He answered with shaking hands. 911. What's your emergency? The woman on the line was the same voice from the recording. I found you, she sobbed. They said you'd answer. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. I'm here, he said softly. Tell me what's happening. She gave him an address. His screen updated instantly. Match found, active recording. The future file continued playing beside the live call, perfectly synchronized. I hear myself screaming, the woman whispered. It's like it's already happened. Daniel closed his eyes for a moment. You're not alone, he said. Help is on the way. He dispatched units with mechanical efficiency, hands moving on instinct while his mind screamed. Evelyn's voice returned, barely audible beneath the hum of the center. This is the part where you try harder, she said. Shut up, Daniel whispered. The woman on the line gasped sharply. He's here, she said. Who? Daniel asked, heart racing. The man with the recorder, she whispered. He's standing in the corner. Daniel felt a wave of cold wash over him. There's no one there, he said quickly. You're scared, that's all. In the future recording, his voice said the exact same words. The woman screamed. Daniel flinched as the scream pierced both the live call and the playback simultaneously, layered so perfectly they became one sound. Please, she cried. Make it stop. Daniel stood up. I'm coming, he said suddenly. Evelyn's voice sharpened. Daniel, don't! But he was already moving. He grabbed his jacket, ripping his headset off as the supervisor shouted his name from across the room. The world felt unreal as he ran, as if he were moving through a recording instead of reality. The woman stayed on the line the entire drive, her breathing frantic, her voice breaking. I can hear him clicking, she sobbed, like he's saving something. Daniel's heart pounded. Stay with me, he said over and over. Just stay with me. When he reached the address, police lights already painted the street in red and blue. Officers were rushing inside the apartment building. Daniel ran past them. He took the stairs, two at a time. The woman's screams reached him through the phone and through the hallway at the same time. Apartment 3B. The door was ajar. Inside, the room was empty. No woman. No struggle. Only a digital recorder sitting on the floor, its red light blinking. Recording. Daniel picked it up with shaking hands. His own voice came through the tiny speaker. I'm here with you. Behind him, someone inhaled slowly. Daniel turned. The man stood there, calm, expressionless, holding another recorder in his hand. Too late, the man said gently, but you stayed. The recorder in Daniel's hand clicked. Stop. The timestamp updated. Harper, Daniel status, complete. Daniel's phone went dead. And somewhere, far away, a new call began to ring. Daniel didn't scream. That surprised him. He stood in the center of the empty apartment, the digital recorder heavy in his hand, its red light now dark. The silence after it stopped felt deeper than any noise. Thick, absolute, final. The man with the recorder watched him patiently. Up close, he looked painfully ordinary. No monstrous features, no shadowy edges. Just a neatly dressed man with tired eyes and a posture that suggested he had been standing still for a very long time. You finished the call, the man said. Daniel's voice came out hoarse. There was no one here. There was, the man replied, until the recording ended. Daniel's stomach twisted. You killed her. The man shook his head slowly. I documented her. Police shouted from the stairwell. Footsteps thundered closer. Daniel backed away. What are you? The man looked almost offended by the question. I'm compliance, he said. I make sure what's recorded becomes real. The officers burst into the apartment. Sir, put your hands where we can see them. The man with the recorder was gone. The room was empty, except for Daniel. Daniel woke up in a hospital bed. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. His supervisor sat nearby, face pale and strained. You collapsed, the supervisor said quietly. They said shock. Daniel tried to speak. His throat burned. What about the woman, he asked. The supervisor looked away. There was no resident registered at that address, he said. The apartment's been vacant for 6 years. Daniel closed his eyes. 2 days later, Internal Affairs interviewed him. 3 days later, he was cleared. 1 week later, he returned to work. The Jefferson County Emergency Communications Center looked exactly the same. Same hum, same lights, same blinking clock. 2:40 a.m., Daniel sat at his station. His station. A new folder waited on his screen. Archive access granted. He opened it. Hundreds of recordings. Thousands. All labeled. All time-stamped. All inevitable. Evelyn's voice spoke softly through his headset. You understand now. Daniel swallowed. I don't get a choice. You never did, she said. Neither did I. A call rang. Daniel answered automatically. 911. What's your emergency? A man on the line whispered. They told me this was already recorded. Daniel closed his eyes. I know, he said gently. Stay with me. On a hidden server deep beneath the building, a recorder clicked on. A new file appeared. Harper, Daniel operator, recording, status, active. Somewhere the man with the recorder pressed save, and the system, satisfied, continued to listen.